When the Clippers got James Harden, it was a total mess. They lost 4 games in a row, including to the really bad Grizzlies team that had only won 1 game and lost 8. The coach Ty Lue said he wanted to give Harden 10 games before making big changes, but after losing 5 games with no wins, they did something big. Russell Westbrook got sent to sit on the bench. People say it was Russ's idea, but that might just be to make him look better. I mean, a superstar getting benched by the Lakers and the Clippers? That's not good. But however it happened, this decision basically ended Russ's basketball career. The Clippers won their first game with Russ sitting on the bench. Alperen Sengun was driving past Ivica Zubac and put the Rockets up by 5 points. But Jalen Green tried to end the game and got blocked by Paul George, who passed the ball to score while running fast. So the game was tied with 10 seconds left. James Harden stepped back, made a shot, and got fouled for the game winner. This was their first win since the big trade. So the news people wanted to ask Russ how he felt watching from the bench, but he was nowhere to be found. Actually, the Clippers have only lost 2 games since Russ got benched in the middle of November, but he's avoided talking to reporters almost every time. Oh, but he has gotten into fights with some fans. When the Clippers lost to Denver without Jokic and Jamal Murray, he yelled at some jerk in the crowd. The fan was probably being mean, but Russ gets extra upset when things aren't going his way. And right now, he is disappearing into the background. Going back to last year's playoffs, his playing time got cut from 39 minutes a game to 34 before the Harden trade, then slowly went down. In his 4th game sitting on the bench, Russ only played 14 minutes. That's as much as some random role player, not a former most valuable player. But Russ is now a cheap contract role player, like Moses Moody or Ricky Rubio. Actually, Russ makes less money than all those guys, including Reggie Jackson, who just played really well against him the other night. And the reason is James Harden. But first, I am so excited to see Victor Wembanyama in person this year. I already got to see Steph, but today's video is paid for by SeatGeek. They have over 28 million downloads and are the #1 rated ticket app. There are over 70,000 events on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. And I am telling you, it's right around Christmas, so I have an excuse to pay for these tickets, but I don't want to pay too much. Looking around the arena, here green dots mean it's a great deal and red means it's not. So I'm going to pick a green dot and hopefully actually see Wemby in person during his first year as a pro. So with the NBA season going strong, you don't want to miss out. SeatGeek has your tickets to every game, plus you have the NFL, the NHL, and artists like Drake, Travis Scott, and Bad Bunny on tour. They put all tickets from across the internet in one place to make sure you are getting a good deal. Every ticket is protected by their buyer promise, and SeatGeek is the only website that lets you return your tickets before the event with swaps. And you know I came through for you guys. Use the code AMHOOPS for $20 off of your tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code AMHOOPS. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. Both Russ and James are guys that fans know would be great if they could just play defense or move without the ball. Ben Simmons would be great if he would just shoot, or Zion if he would stay in shape. But at some point, these guys are who they are and you face reality. And the reality for LA is they would rather have Harden over Russ. But a month ago, Russ was their guy. In last year's playoffs, the Clippers won Game 1 against KD and the Suns on the road. A big part was Russ with the game-ending block on Devin Booker to win the game. And he knocked the ball away from Booker and out of bounds to keep the ball for his team. No one expected that. Phoenix tied it up in Game 2, but Cole got hurt, so by himself, Russ had an amazing Game 3. It was only a 3-point game with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. He almost beat KD, Booker, and CP3 by himself. And after the series, they asked Russ about his future on the Clippers. There was a lot of uncertainty from both sides when you joined about what your role might be, how it would kind of work out. When did that kind of weight off your shoulder, the peace of mind aspect kind of kick in? You like, all right, I can be me. I don't have to worry about this happening here, there, all that. When did that kind of weight lift off your shoulders? Once I got traded, immediately to be honest. From that moment mentally, I was in a better place. A little dig at the Lakers, I like it. But Russ felt at home on the Clippers last year and the beginning of this year, so he was happy to sign a cheap deal to stay. But James Harden messed it all up. Of course, they would never say that, but the minutes show the truth. Don't believe people's words, believe their actions. Not only are they playing restless, he's not starting or finishing games. The problem is Russ and Harden together, it doesn't work. Both guys need the ball to be in charge, so their value drops when they're on the floor together. A perfect example of this was in the loss to Denver. We don't need to break down the entire game. The whole mess is summed up in one play. LA already blew their lead. Ty Lue was playing Russ and Harden together, so Harden passes to Coley, who drives, but the paint is packed. Russ can't shoot, so his defender can move away from him. So Coley passes to a wide-open James Harden, but he doesn't shoot. Why? Instead, he drives and turns the ball over. And Harden has passed up multiple open shots because he says playing without the ball is just so weird for him. He doesn't know what to do. We saw the same exact problem in Houston. The Rockets were actually better with just Harden or just Russ on the floor, not together. Even after they traded a ton for him, so they panicked and traded their regular center Clint Capella to make it work. But things were still a mess. There's no way Ty Lue can play non-shooting Zubac, Russ, and Harden at the same time. He tried it. They went 0-5. So if Russ and Harden have the same problem of needing the ball but Russ can't shoot, you have to pick Harden over Russ. So where does that leave Russ's career? Dude is benched, not closing games, and he is mad. Gets angry at fans and reporters. We've seen it before. But last year on the Lakers, he did have one team that needed him. The Clippers were the only place that could use Russell Westbrook, but now that they're gone, it's over. If Russ gets traded or cut, he's not going to get a big role on a good team. The most Heck will hope for is starting on a bad team like the Bulls after they trade everyone. But does Russ even want that? The reason his career is probably over is dude's got a lot of pride and money. He doesn't want to be Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, who are getting laughed at putting up numbers on a bad team. I made a video about how Russ will be the third NBA billionaire after Michael Jordan and LeBron James. It's actually a realistic goal he can reach, and he probably wants to work on that instead of moving his family to Charlotte for a year. The other option-ish goes to a winning team in a smaller role. The Suns and Celtics need all the depth they can get. But I would love to see him go back to OKC. He started that team in Oklahoma. It would be so cool to see him teach the next generation. He and KD were deep in the playoffs every year. Conference finals, 4 of their 8 seasons together in the NBA finals in 2012. But after KD left, Russ gave the city something to cheer for. His scoring jumped to 32 points a game. He was passing like Magic Johnson. The whole year was about breaking Oscar Robertson's triple-double record. And the night Russ broke it was the peak of his career. He broke the record on this assist with 4 minutes and 18 seconds to play. Everyone went crazy, but Russ was still focused on the game because his team was down 10 points. So Russ took over, scoring at the rim to bring OKC within 2 points with 3 seconds left. The Thunder drew up a play for the last shot. Everybody knew who would take the last shot. Gives it back to Russ. Deep shot. Got it. What a perfect ending. That is the play. Russ thinks he can still be, no wonder he has so much pride, but the Clippers don't think so. If they did, they wouldn't have got James Harden. Part of me wonders if Russ knew this the second they traded for James Harden. It's really sad, but I'll bet in the back of his mind he knew his playing days were over. So if his career ends now, I hope people remember Russ at his peak and not the guy the Lakers and Clippers gave up on. And speaking of Russ the billionaire, check out that video that I made. Obviously, Russ has made a ton of money on the court, but it's what he plans on doing off the court after he retires that will get him to that billionaire mark.